The Rode VideoMic Pro is a fantastic addition to any on-the-go creator kit. Affiliate link in the video description. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and this is E3 week 2017. It's a great week. It's a great week. We get to watch the press conferences. We get to see what new games are coming out. We get to see footage of the games. We get to get hyped. We get to get excited, and we get to essentially justify it to ourselves, our parents, our partners, our spouses, or whomever that we are probably going to spend an obscene amount of money on our preferred hobby. It comes every June, and it's always a lot of fun. I myself have attended 8 times, and I'm okay with never going back, but that's a story for another day. But there's never not going to be controversy that stems out of E3 as a whole, although this time around it has more to do with a developer's personal thoughts and opinions, and how that's not okay for those in the independent gaming community because they want to be the gatekeepers. And I'm going to drop a name here, a name you guys might recognize. Zoe Quinn. Kind of just brings like a warm blanket over you. I mean, if that blanket was infested with, like, I don't know, smallpox. Zoe Quinn is a person who was basically at the center of Gamergate for a while. You know, she was a very big cause for concern, mostly for ethical reasons. Many claims were made from an ex-boyfriend that accused her of a very serious crime. And of course, you know, she was the victim because his words have absolutely no meaning, because the people that chose to speak up on his behalf were the shitlords of the internet, and apparently our opinions mean jack shit, especially if you have control over the media narrative. And Zoe is quite good at that. In fact, she's back once again to attack a developer who had a game that ended up on the Xbox press conference today. A guy by the name of Tim Soret has a game called The Last Night, and it's a very heavily pixelated game. It looks fantastic. The visuals are amazing. Not much in terms of gameplay or story or anything else, but the trailer was enough to pique my interest, as well as many other people. In fact, 100,000 tweets with the term The Last Night popped up today, completely blowing up Tim Soret's mentions online. And what happens when anything like this blows up is immediately people start digging in to your past. They want to know every little detail about you, most likely so they can attempt to destroy you, especially if it comes to the indie game community in gaming. It really does. The people there who are the gatekeepers, they want to know that you got their back. They want to know that you'll you know, if they scratch your back, you'll scratch theirs. It's a quid pro quo scenario. Look, I have looked at a lot of industries that deal in nepotism and cronyism and whatnot, and incestuous behaviors, but my God, indie gaming is fucking horrific. All right, it is like the most AIDS-infested, flea-ridden dog you could think of just nepotism. And it's just such a diseased environment. And they will do anything they can to try to destroy someone of which they disagree with politically or anything else, right? And that kind of brings it to here. So Tim has made a couple comments a couple years ago coming out in favor of Gamergate, which is, well, I would argue not Zoe Quinn's most favorite thing. And to many people in gaming, it is a constant thorn in their side. Because for the most part, Gamergate is in fact dead. It has been dead for a while, but it flares up. It flares up when it needs to. It will rally around something when necessary because it doesn't like bullshit and it doesn't stand for bullshit. But then again, we're always the bad guys here, at least according to Zoe Quinn, who in response to seeing some of Tim's tweets saying he doesn't believe in feminism, he doesn't agree with feminism, and he's pro Gamergate, she says here, maker of cyberpunk indie game, totally cool with trying to ruin the life of cyberpunk game developer. Yeah, I know. I can't play the violin, but you guys get my fucking meaning. Yeah. Zoe Quinn says, cyberpunk indie game developer, totally cool with trying to ruin the life of another cyberpunk game developer. Zoe, just because you have a chip implanted in your hand and you have a tattoo of a fucking robotic arm on your side, doesn't necessarily mean you make cyberpunk games. See, again, you're kind of mixing two different themes here. The Last Night does look cyberpunkish. True, you made Depression Quest, basically a choose-your-own-adventure game developed in Twine about depression. I'm just going to kind of hang out here for a second until you can, or anyone can really describe to me how that, like, means cyberpunk, right? Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that, so why even waste time? The point is, you continue your little tirade by saying, if you lay down with MRAs, abusive ex-boyfriends, literal Nazis at all, you deserve fleas. Just for your information, I'm 100% never letting go when a developer participated in Gamergate unless someone actually made amends, but no one has. What does that tell you right there, right? It says here, if you lay down with MRAs, abusive ex-boyfriends, literal Nazis, you deserve fleas. Well, what about you? I mean, we have kind of a report of who you've laid with, which brought up serious ethical concerns, but you won't address that at all. It's cyber violence. It's an attack on you for criticizing your abusive ex-boyfriend. I read the Zoe post, 9,000 words of a dude pouring his heart out about how he feels that a girl that he loved abused him. The chat logs are there to prove it, Zoe. You can argue. You can fucking argue all you goddamn want that Aaron was an abusive person. There is no evidence of the such. All right? There is absolutely no evidence of the such. And had there been evidence, Gamergate would have walked the fuck away from this guy a long time ago instead of help raising his legal fees to fight back against your trying to silence him from speaking about his abuse. All to the point of when you got to realize you were going to fucking lose that case. And you were like, ooh, I just want this all to go away. Can we make this all go away? And you tried to have it ended. The court battle you started over trying to protect your image from claims made by an ex, all while operating under the auspice that you were running a fucking non-profit organization that's all about preventing cyber violence and believing people when they tell you that they've been abused, believing the abuse, trying to completely disregard your exes. I can go off on this for hours. It's been nearly 3 years of this shit, and she still doesn't ever fucking stop. But my favorite part about this, though, my fucking favorite goddamn fucking part about this was that unless someone actually tried to make amends, but no one has, you are not the fucking Godfather. You're a one-trick pony who operates in such a secluded echo chamber that one day it's going to fucking engulf you. And it almost did a couple times when you dared to step out. And so you don't do that anymore. You don't do that at all. You hide. You hide behind the constant changing of your Twitter avatar and your Twitter handle and your Twitter name. You're constantly changing physical identity, mental identity, because you are such a sad and scared, lonely individual. You have no choice but to do that in order to protect your own psyche. Might I recommend seeing a fucking counselor, or at least some goddamn Xanax? But no, you want amends made to you. You're the victim. You're the victim. You have a book coming out that's going to be fun to read because it's going to be full of shit. You're going to have all your celebrity gamer friends. I call them faux gamers at this point, or faux nerds at this point, Will Wheaton included. That's going to push this bullshit agenda. Amy Pascal from Sony optioned your book to be a movie, but that pretty much is going to fall through because she no longer runs Sony. And her studio is working on Spider-Man, not your shitty life story. So at this point, Zoe, you're going to have to work on that Chuck Tingle game you were trying to do and hope to God that your friend's advice, where Patrick Klepek works, one of our really good friends, by the way, cronyism, can help get you some more fucking press coverage. You're an evil, abhorrent, disgusting individual, one who I wish has a horrible life. Because you reap what you sow in this world, and you're not about helping anyone but yourself. So you come out there and you attack a developer who has his trailer placed on one of the most watched video game streams of the year. And you can't handle it. You can't take it. You can't take it at all. Probably you're pissed off too because they showed Tacoma, right? Your friends at the Fulbright company. Makers have gone home, by the way. And they had like a 30-second teaser trailer. And the last night got at least a minute and a half. And got a lot more people talking about it because it looked cool. But here, I'm just going to leave it with this. Just to give you an idea of why the last night is probably going to outsell anything you do ever. It's because when Sorit was originally developing the game and talking about it, here's kind of how he viewed it. He says that he had intended to create a world that it was a cyberpunk world, in which case modern feminism won instead of egalitarianism, a war that many of us are fighting and have been fighting for years to make sure that equality is actually upheld and not feminist dominance. Which, if you don't believe that's actually happening, please take the fucking look around. Maybe not as much as it was. It's kind of started to die down. Now it's moved into other kind of fucking identity politics, but that was a big one for a while. Now, this is what Sorit says. He says here, I find it interesting to show the danger of extreme progressivism in the background of the game, the characters, and the story. Finally, we'll have another take on the cyberpunk oppression instead of Big Brother 1984/how/big companies. What if the surveillance, bullying, and marginalization won't come from the government, but from the internet? Which is what we see now. His entire premise for the last night completely showcases exactly why it's needed, especially given the fact that a game developer who hates the fact that another developer a couple of years ago was all for ethics in games journalism and fighting back against bullshit identity politics wants somebody to make literal fucking amends to her for having an opinion. Sorry, Zoe, I didn't know you were running the thought police again. I thought Crash Override died when your relationship to Alex Lifshitz did. Like, you're a bad person. A bad person. And there's no other way to describe it than you're just bad. And I pity the shit out of you. I pity the ever-loving shit out of you. Because that's who you are. This is what you're relegated to. What's great, though, just as a quick side caveat to this, someone retweeted the attack, and then Notch, creator of Minecraft, stepped up and made a comment like, wow, what a cunt. And then Zoe's like, oh my god, he called me a cunt. And he's like, stop changing your name, I didn't know it was you, and stop being a cunt. And once again, Notch throws himself on the grenade to fight back against identity politics online. He's fighting for egalitarianism, he's fighting for equality, and he's fighting back against this kind of fucking oppressive bullshit, which is exactly the kind of thing that Zoe Quinn will always do until she's one day wholeheartedly laughed out of gaming or just leaves on her own, which, let's be fair, that'd probably be for the best for everyone involved at this point. But anyway, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Peace out.